today I thought it would be really fun to kind of show you how I used to do my makeup versus now how I used to do my makeup. So I got this idea from Niki here on YouTube. I will put her channel and the video down below. It was really fun to watch. I am going to kind of recreate this picture, how I used to do my makeup. I think this was around 2017, 2016. I can't remember. It definitely was around that. We're gonna be doing how I used to do my makeup on this side, and then on this side, we're gonna do the makeup how I like to do my makeup now. The 2017 makeup side. I would only go in with a primer. I wouldn't use any skincare products for prepping the skin for makeup. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. I'm just going to put it on my entire face. I didn't focus it on the T-zone because at that time, since I was still getting into makeup, I didn't know that I had oily skin. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't really pay attention to that. And in 2017, that was when I was a senior in high school. That was the time where I really wanted to focus on makeup. That was when I wanted to oh, I think that would be a really fun career to have, being a makeup artist. So I wanted to really pursue that when I was a senior in high school. Now, to prep my skin, I've done that so many times on my YouTube channel already. Even for both times when I used to do how I used to do my makeup, and now I would use like a lip balm. I'm going to use the Ravie Beauty Lip Renewal Treatment Oil. This is something that I would never skip. All right, now let's go to the foundation on the 2017 makeup side. I would always use kind of like a cream foundation for every day. This would be something that I would use if I known about it, or if this was around in 2017. This would have been amazing. And I would use the little thing that it would come with, and I love this foundation. This foundation is so good. This is the Tier Mask Fit Red Cushion Foundation in 21 Ivory. And I was actually a pretty good match when I would get a foundation, or I matched it pretty well with my skin tone. I remember it would always be just a little bit lighter than my skin tone though. I didn't have the perfect one, but again, it was a little lighter. So, and then I would always go right up into the under eye area. I'll show you in a bit on the other side of what I do for the foundation now for the under eyes. All right, but now let's move into concealer because I'm still waiting for the side to dry or to soak in the skin. So I'm going to take one of my favorite concealers that I actually used in 2017. This is again a different bottle because I go through these like crazy. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in Fair Warm. And again, I did that like this thing that's white. I would also, because I was really acne prone at that time as well, I did spot conceal. I do have some that I can spot conceal right now. And then I actually would immediately go in and blend. And this was the typical shade that I used too. I would use something that's even lighter than the foundation that I use that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. Because I didn't know like matching skin tones yet, or I didn't know, to like conceal the under eye like this. It was just, I had no knowledge of makeup. I just slapped everything on pretty much. That was even before I just slapped everything on. All right, let's actually move to the foundation on the other side. I have been loving this foundation. I say this every time I use it in a video. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Impeccable Foundation in 1CR. So before I would always used to just slap it on, kind of swipe. I just would do like the swipes. Now I like to kind of tap it in the middle, and then once I get to the outer perimeter of the face, I would start to kind of swipe and blend. All right, for the concealer now on this side, I'm going to take something that is really close to my skin tone. This is the Natasha Denona Hy-glam Concealer in N2. I'm just going to place it here and here. And then I'm not going to I'm going to actually pre-blend the concealer just a little bit. I'm not going to blend it in fully yet. Okay, let's move on to this side. This is the time where I would powder the entire face. I didn't go in with like any cream products after, like a cream blush or a cream contour or a liquid contour. I just went in with a powder. So I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder in Sugar Cookie. I'm just going to put this on the entire... Okay, what I'm actually going to do now, I'm going to move to the brows just for a second on this side. I'm going to kind of get the brows ready for brow application so they really can last all day. Okay, back to the 2017 side. I didn't even use a powder bronzer. I just used blush. As I don't know, I think I was really too intimidated on contouring or bronzing, so I just went in with a blush. This is probably one of the shades, if this was out in 2017, I would use. This is the Ravie Beauty Endless Diffusion Everyday Baked Blush in Daydream. And this is like the typical shade that I would use like every day. So what I would do is I would only apply it to the apple of the cheek, and I would do like that smiley thing and apply it on the apple. And I remember I would kind of apply too much in that spot, and I would only apply it there. Such a habit of me kind of blending it up, so like I'm really trying to keep it right in here. And I did also use highlighter. I'm going to use the Dior Backstage Face Palette. And I would have used something like this. This is the Morphe and Ariel brush number A14. And actually this brush set I got in 2017, I think. I don't really remember, but I got it. I think I got it then. I would use something like this white shade in the palette. And I never thought of mixing the two shades. That's what I like to do now instead of just using a white. And I would do that like right here. I would do that entire cheek like this. It would be like way too much highlight, and it just would not, I mean, it looks good now, but now I think we can blend in the concealer on this side. Now I would use a bronzer or a contour. I'm going to take the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. This is in the shade Light. I'm only going to apply it kind of in this area right here. Now let's move on to this side. And this is when I started to do eye look. So I would always use something that was a little bit too dark for my brows. I'm going to take the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Soft Brown. I would still do that like 2016 brow. That was the typical way to do the brow. And this was like, this is the perfect shade of what I would use at that time. And I wouldn't follow the shape. I would just kind of messily fill in the brows like this. So this is something that I still typically do, but I would do it very, very sparingly and not a lot of product. I would prep my eyes with concealer, but not too much. Like that was a little too much for my liking, and I'm just going to kind of remove just a tiny bit of it. Kind of tried to carve out the bottom of the brow just to make it a little bit better, and I would stop there for now. I wouldn't set it because I thought, ooh, I could just set it with the eyeshadows that I would use. Okay, let's move actually to the how I do the makeup now. Now I like to apply a highlighter underneath my blush, my cream blush. So I am going to go into the Dior palette and mix these two colors together. I might have to charge my camera too. Just apply it very lightly in this area. Okay, so off camera while I let my camera charge, I just applied my powder bronzer. I used the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector on this side. Okay, so now let's move on to the eye look that I would always do on this side. So I'm going to take the Naruto and ColourPop eyeshadow palette. This is one of my favorites. For this part, this is not really about the product. It's more about the colors I used to use. So I actually did not start with a Hidden Stone Village in the palette, which is this one. And I'm going to start placing this on the lid. On the crease. Then what I would I love to do is I would take any champagne color. I still do use champagne colors all the time, but I would mix it with a blue usually. So I'm going to take Hidden Leaf Village with Copy Ninja. I wanted to really kind of bring out my eye color. So I used a blue with a champagne color. Okay, now this comes to the part where it used to be tricky for me for the longest time. So long to me to figure out how to apply eyeliner. Always use and only use a black, it would be like a black felt tip or a pencil I would use. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Pigment Pro pencil in Super Black. And I'm going to try to make it really how I would apply it in 2017. So what I would do is I would actually apply it from the inner corner to the outer corner, and I would have that like really thick line throughout the entire lash line. And I would close my eyes when applying it. And again, I would go from the inner corner to the outer corner. All right, let's do the other side really quick. So I'm going to go into an eyeshadow palette that I have been loving to use. I haven't used it in a while and I want to go back to it again. This is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight Palette. I definitely do really wish they got the original one. I heard it was amazing, but I do have this one, which I'm so happy about. So what I actually do now, I do use concealer, but I'm going to use the same concealer that we used on the under eye. I'm just going to place a very small amount of this. I'm going to take a fluffy brush. I'm just going to lightly blend it in to the entire lip. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder. In Sugar Cookie. I'm just going to set the entire lid. But first, we actually forgot to apply a brow pencil. So I'm going to take one of my favorites currently. This is the Ravie Beauty Easy Everyday Brow Pencil. Now I like to do my brows very naturally. And this one matches my brow hairs pretty well, actually. I like to go back and forth between filling them in and blending them with the spoolie. All right, now let's move on to the eyeshadow. So first I actually like to apply a bronzer. So I'm going to take the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I'm going to mix the two bottom shades together. And then I'm going to apply this to the crease. Very lightly. Okay, now we're going to go into the Makeup by Mario Moonlight Palette. I'm going to take a shade that's a little bit deeper than the bronzer that we just used. Actually, let's go into this shade in the palette. Take a very small amount of this shade. I've pre-blend it on the back of my hand and then apply it to the outer corner. Okay, next I'm going to go in with this shade in the palette. Well, there's actually something that I forgot to do on the other side. So there are days when I don't even apply any shimmer shade. There are other days where I do. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day and what look I want to go for. So moving back to the other side, I'm going to take my highlighter palette again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white shade, and I like to kind of place this kind of right in here, right in the eye a little bit. And I used to go right in the inner corner, just all in this area. What I do instead is I'm going to take this shade in the palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to take the BK Beauty 204 brush. I'm going to place it here in the inner corner, and I'm also going to place it where the arch of the brow is. On this side, I'm going to take the same shade actually, and we are going to place this on the entire brow bone. All right, next I'm going to take a lash curler. I'm going to curl lashes, and I'm going to apply the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. This is the only mascara that I had, and I absolutely loved it, and still love it actually. On the side that I like how I do my makeup now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, instead of using a black, I like to take a brown eyeliner. This one is actually a bronze eyeliner. This is the Persona 24-Hour Waterproof Eye Pencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look straight into the mirror. I'm not even going to close my eyes. I'm just going to line my lash line. I'm only going to do the outer third. This time I spend my time curling my lashes. Before, I just did it like 2 or 3 pumps and then let go. I do like 10 pumps and then hold it for about 10 seconds and then let it go. I'm going to use the YSL Lash Clash mascara in the shade in black. Kind of jumping around a little bit on this side. So now we're going to go into a cream blush. Like I said earlier, I like to apply my powder highlighter underneath my cream blush. So now I'm going to go into a cream, like I said, I'm going to go into a cream blush. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in Perfect Pink. I'm going to take the Niki Rose in BK Beauty, the N17 brush, and I'm going to use the lighter fiber side to apply the blush right on top of the highlighter. And I don't really like to apply it to the cheeks anymore. I kind of like to just apply it kind of like in a lifted way. Okay, well, I let that kind of soak for a little bit. I'm going to start doing the lips. So on the side that how I used to do my makeup, I didn't even use a lip liner at all. I just went in with like either a lip gloss or a lipstick. Today I'm going to use the e.l.f. Lip Stain in Power Mauve. I'm going to overline the Cupid bow just a little bit. Or Cupid's bow on the bottom lip. And then on top of that, I'm going to take the Review Beauty Effortless Lips in Peony. I'm going to brush off the mini bake. For brow gel, I used brow gel on both times. So I'm going to use the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Okay, so I wouldn't typically use a drugstore setting spray for how I used to do my makeup, but I don't have one anymore, so I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. For an everyday use, I use the one size one. I bought 2 because I know how much I go through these. There's a new one, yay! Okay, so that was how I used to do my makeup versus now. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video and see you in the